Hello, everybody. This is Annette Stanton, and I'd like to introduce you to Barbara Cafagna, the founder of Embody Beauty Co. Thank you for being here today, Barbara.
Thanks, Annette.
Lovely. So as most people may know, and Barbara knows this about me, is that I love having courageous conversations from the heart and soul. And this is about life, business, leadership, and your career path and the different cycles that we all go through. And after meeting Barbara, I loved her story, stepping from, well, I won't go into it. I'll let you move into it, Barbara.
Okay, no
So
spoiler
tell us
alerts.
a little bit about your background story.
So I just want to say that I love what you're creating here with the courageous conversations, because I don't think as business women or as women generally, we have really gutsy, raw, courageous conversations. We have this, I'm fine, I've got it together. And sometimes we don't. And that is perfect. So good on you for opening the space and holding the space, which you do so well. So I'm absolutely honored to be here today. So my journey, I have had quite the journey. I started out as a travel consultant, always working with really high-end clients, was doing that for about 20 years. And I loved it. There was a time that I absolutely loved it. I loved my clients. I loved the trust that I had with my clients. I loved the rapport that I was able to build with them, sending them on amazing holidays where they would just say, Barbs, just send us somewhere nice. And I'd create these experiences for them that they'd never had. It was so good. And a little secret, I would just send them to where I would really want to go.
Yes, me.
Yeah, so I knew it was going to be amazing anyways. But that aside, just being able to build that trust and having this really quiet confidence to be able to have a client in front of you saying, we're burnt out, we're stressed out, we don't know where we want to go, we just want you to sort it out. And to be able to have that, to be able to have that skill, I suppose, to do that without stressing the client and saying, it's this much, or it's this destination, or is that okay? Just to really have freedom. And as a creative, and that I am a very creative little soul, that was perfect. That's what I needed, because I didn't, even though I worked in the corporate space with corporate clients, I was working in the leisure space of travel, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. So for me as a creative, it was good to have the freedom, because I created that freedom for myself. Whenever I had a new client come in, I would always say to them, I'm not an order taker. If you're wanting someone who is just going to fulfill your plans that you have, maybe we're not the right fit. And to be able to say that was perfect, which is kind of unheard of in a sales industry, because a lot of people in that sales industry just want to grab whatever they can.
That's it.
Yeah, whereas only for me, I would always spend a lot of time with my clients, and I knew that I had to be selective. So I was fortunate that I created the space to be creative in a very structured, conventional business model, I suppose, where everyone kind of had to do the same and be the same and provide the same.
Yes.
But yet we were always told, oh, but they're coming because of you and not the products. Like, well, let me be me then.
Yes, exactly. And it sounds like you're very passionate about, I can feel the passion streaming through. And, you mentioned also that a lot of the people that come to you are highly stressed and they're looking for that getaway. And you could relate to that, because there was something that occurred in your personal self that had the wake-up call. Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. And I suppose burnout is a really interesting thing. I feel like when we're in the thick of burnout, we don't realize that we're in burnout. And it's only when we go through it that we can recognize it, which is really interesting. And again, I think it's because a lot of people, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about the symptoms or the feelings or the fears that come up when we are in the doing. As you always say, it's not in the doing, it's in the being that we can really recognize things. So for me, I had a big wake-up call. Even though I had very little stress, I had healthy stress in my life, very active, I had the best life. But then when I was 35, I had a stroke, which was completely out of the blue. But and it was it was a wake-up call, not from a health perspective, but it was a wake-up call from the perspective of what else can I do? And after having misdiagnosed headaches for 6 weeks and being in hospital for, after I actually had the stroke when I was at home, going through all of that. And I remember I was in this really dark room with my partner, and I'm sure I was coming to, my soul had a choice to make, was either we're done with life or we're not. And I've distinctly heard a voice on my right side saying, you're not done yet.
Yes.
And even though I struggled with depression and anxiety for a good, I would say at least 8 years, probably 10 years after the stroke, that was the little fire that kept burning in me. And it was my internal why. You're not done yet. Keep going, keep going, keep going, because there is more to it. So essentially what happened was I left the travel industry. I kind of got to the end of my love affair with the travel industry. As much as I loved my clients, in 2018, I went and did my coaching certification because I was looking for something else.
Yes.
And in my mind, I was going to coach, women who'd gone through stroke or something else, a major life incident, and work them through that. But the funny thing was that I hadn't finished my healing back then.
Yes.
So there was a lot of, in my mind, and in what I saw as this chopping and changing, flipping and flopping. I went from starting a wellness coaching business to then changing it to an alignment coaching business, to then changing it to something else, to then changing it to something else, then going back to travel because I knew I was good at that.
Yep.
So on the outside, I looked so scattered, but in actual fact, that's just the route that I needed to take.
Yes, yes, you're processing the getting to know yourself. And I have a lot of clients who go through this and they really don't know where to place their true north.
Yes.
In that time of uncertainty of, I've got all these skills and strengths and gifts and talents that I want to bring to the world. But I don't know where to place it. So that's the process of being able to explore all those areas. It's like as you were coming out of the dark night of the soul, I had a client today talking about that with me. And it's normal to go through that, and we can tend to feel a sense of that anxiety, stress, depression that you said you've been managing. So I can certainly relate to that because that's been a part of my life. But I also know that that's also a part of getting to know my true self, because it's like unraveling all those old beliefs, the cultures, the corporate beliefs. Who you think you need to be in order to be successful, be seen as successful, be seen as having it all together, and where the only way is there's that part of you that actually ends up, I'm going to use the word dying. It actually sheds. So that the new you, and it's vulnerable. One of my clients calls it, I feel prickly right now. And I said, it's okay, keep breathing. You're going to feel that. So you need to feel the space, not feel the space. And and I really encourage, I acknowledge the fact that you went through that. Like you're all over the place, when the truth is you're not.
No, and the funny thing is that prickly feeling that your client has, I have it as a twitchy, like a real twitchy kind of energy feeling. And I almost feel like my cells vibrating as if to say, we need to move in some sort of direction. We don't care which direction it is, just move us in a direction. And the funny thing is that when we're kids and we're learning, we play. So that's how we discover what we're good at, what we're not so great at, what we enjoy doing and what we don't enjoy doing. So why can't we look at these career changes or chopping and changing or whatever it is as a form of play?
Correct.
And that's what I really, that was the one thing when I thought about it, I thought, well, hang on a minute, I'm just playing with my new reality. And that's okay. And every now and again, yes, I did have that pull to go back to the travel industry because it's what I knew and what I felt safe doing.
Yes.
But it wasn't necessarily a game that I wanted to play anymore. I wanted to find it.
Soul fulfilling.
Yeah, I wanted to find something new that was going to lift me and create this, I don't know, just create this space where every day was fun. Even though every day there were going to be challenges, it could still be fun.
So I just want to tap into the listeners here that, you know, the interpretation and also just to reassurance, because a lot of my clients say, you mean I'm not alone? Other people go through this here. So let's just tap into that a little bit further. You know, what were the benefits of you going through that process of still trying to find my true north? Who am I? Because one of the things that I remember is that you were identifying what it was that brought you joy.
Yeah.
And reconnecting with your love of cooking and reconnecting with other things. So what are the benefits that you found in those areas?
Yeah. It was funny because when we spoke and when I was going through this process with you, which was so incredibly helpful, and still to this day, there are, you know, I often say to you, like my little Jiminy Cricket that's just there. And I think, what would Annette say here? What would Annette do? What would, you know, that kind of thing. But for me, in that space of finding what it is that I love to do, and could I make that my next business? You know, I started something called the Home Cook Goddess, which was, which I was doing, you know, cooking classes and showing people different ways to look at ingredients and that sort of thing. And I played with that for a little while, and I thought, no, it's not really my thing. I love to cook, I love to show people, but it wasn't something I could see myself doing for a really long time. So I had to play with that, and that was great. And I still love to cook. So it wasn't like it kind of pulled me away from it.
So it actually connected you with the joy of your cooking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was great. And it's the common thread through everything. And even with coaching, you know, with the coaching space, I loved being able to hold space for clients and being there for clients and seeing their breakthroughs. But was it something that I really wanted to do for the rest of, you know, what I could see? And then I thought, no, the common thread through all of it was this deep desire to help people feel better about themselves. You know, this really, I have this deep calling for people to see, you know, for women especially, to see their own beauty and their own amazingness. And it was when I tapped into that, was the most incredible point, that it has just given me such direction. And I said to my partner, you know, with what I'm doing now, I don't see a need to dabble to the right or dabble to the left and see what's on other, you know, on the other side or on each side of the path. This is my path and this is where I'm headed. And it's just, it encompasses so many different facets of what I love to do and what brings me joy. Because if it doesn't bring me joy,
that's it.
How can I, like, I don't have anything to spread out to the world.
Absolutely. So a lot of the times I find that people are looking for their career from here up. So, and they're not tapping into, so this is what you did. You were able to tap into your joy from here down, to feel in your body, which hence the embodiment, right?
Correct.
So when you embody and you bring it into your everyday way of life, what brings me joy? And as you say, the essence of you know, bringing out the beauty and for every woman to tap their inner beauty. The essence was always the same. Deep inside, even though you might not have been able to articulate that. So this is what I call stepping into the unknown and trusting the deep knowing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Right. So a lot of the times we're very impatient. So then we start to look again. You know, and the ego mind can come in and take us into a different direction. But the more we sit in the space of allowing the joy and feeling the joy and letting it in and practicing that, and this is where you tap into the inner voice and the inner vision, the inspirational vision streams to and through the embodiment from within the body. So you and yet then you are able to tap into that, the essence of who you truly are and the essence of what you want to bring to the planet.
And it all comes from feeling into things, like you said. But yet when we're going through high school and when we're going through all of those times where it's, you know, pick a career, you're good at maths, or you're good at this, or so, you know, be an engineer, or you're good at human biology, you know, go be a doctor, you know, all these kinds of things. we're in such a different space now where it is so crucial to feel into what it is that you want to do. If you have a love for animals or plants or, you know, whatever the case is, find something within that space. You know, if at the end of the day, all I've done is I've created a solution for a need that's already out there.
So let's talk more about that. Tell everybody, you know, more about what you do now. What does beauty, the Embody Beauty Co represent?
Yeah, so Embody Beauty Co, the tagline is where inner and outer beauty meet, but it is so much more than that. It's actually, it's a place where women can belong and belong in a completely unfiltered way. And I feel like for so long now, we're seeing, you know, in social media and even going back, even before social media, you know, things like the glossy magazines or TV and, you know, advertisements, different types of marketing and that sort of thing. We've been so exposed to this filtered, highly glossy image of what we're supposed to look like or what beauty actually is. And, you know, for someone like me who had severe cystic acne in my early 20s, and all I would do was go to department stores or go to the pharmacy for, you know, the next foundation that was going to cover my skin.
Yes.
And, you know, and being told, oh, you need a full coverage to cover your skin. And I just, you know, that from such a, you know, formative years, that's something that really stays with you. And even though I'm so blessed to have good skin now, that's still something that, it's still something that drives me. And it really is the foundation for Embody Beauty Co. Is that I want women to live their most beautiful, unfiltered life. Every single image that I put on my social media, every single image that I will put, you know, as long as I'm you know, have this beautiful brand, will always be unfiltered.
Beautiful.
May have amazing lighting, you know, but again, it's always going to be natural lighting. It's always going to be, you know, or if it is in a studio, it's taking advantage of the best lighting that we can. But I don't want women to feel that they need to cover their skin or, you know, whenever they're taking a photo to pop on social media, that they have to filter it to the point that there is no texture in their skin. We're human beings. This isn't plastic. It's a living, beautiful organism.
Beautiful.
And that's where with Embody Beauty Co, the products that I have, including my own brand of gorgeous natural mineral makeup, is all, you know, all of it is natural, and it's all meant to enhance you from the inside out. So things like antioxidants, because in terms of the foundation of the brand itself and the store, it's all about your inner skincare. So things like taking, you know, really good antioxidants, things like collagen, all those things that support the body from the inside or support the skin from the inside out. Then we come into, you know, the outer skincare, and then we have the icing on the cake, or just the dressing of the windows, which is the makeup. So I'm a big believer in good things coming in three. And it's it just gets back to that. So that's essentially what the brand is.
Okay. So I'm curious, where did you get, you know, the idea or the branding, you know, where did the products come from?
Yeah. So if we go back to the branding, I worked with an incredible agency in on the Gold Coast. And I said so this was going back 3 years ago now, 2.5, 3 years ago. And I basically did a brain and heart dump onto them. And I said, this is what I want. This is what it needs to look like. This is what it needs to feel like. I didn't have a name. I didn't have anything. But the one thing that I did have, and I don't have it on today, is my butterfly necklace.
Oh, yes, I know your butterfly. Yes.
Yeah, which I wear it every day, but I forgot this morning. But anyways, so I sent them a photo of the butterfly pendant that my partner bought for me back in 2011. And I said, this is what I want it to feel like. And it's a really beautiful, whimsical, dainty, but it has a real presence to it, this particular necklace. So send that through to them. There was a bit of back and forth, but I was actually quite surprised at how organically everything came through. And they sent me through 3 different 3 different images, 3 different branding styles.
Oh, okay.
And me being me, I said,
Yes.
I want this of that, and this of that. So I took from all 3. And the name Embody was just something that fit so beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when I'd write it down or when I saw it, I thought, no, it looks bold. It just looks what it is.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what I loved about it. And so with the products that were on there, they needed to be more than just products, because you can go into a supermarket and you can find similar things in terms of things that will fit into that category.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted them to be, you know, have highest efficacy. I wanted them to have the best ingredients available. And I wanted them to be from brands that aligned with my own philosophy around beauty and wellness.
Wonderful.
And
Yeah.
that, you know, and I've had a number of different companies that have approached me since I've had the store open and saying, oh, you know, would you like to have our products? And I will go through, and first and foremost, if anything has the word fragrance on it,
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the products, I want women to experience what it's like, and I want women to have access to good products that are going to eliminate their toxic load, even if they don't know it right at the start.
So your brand is your passion and your purpose.
Yeah.
And your calling. There's a human, deeper, embodied connection with the butterfly.
Yeah.
With your ethics, your standards, your values. Yeah. And making sure that you honor that, which is what excellence is all about.
Yeah.
From inside out. Yeah. And that marries up to the ethics of the representation of the product. Yeah. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about business.
Yes.
Business now, and especially for those creatives out there who are either just starting or have been going for quite some time. So I've been a creative for over, 35 years now in that industry of being on the leading edge and creating my own brand. Let's talk a little bit more about what are I guess the top 3 learning lessons that you'd like to pass on to anybody that's starting off in their own creative calling, branding, vision. Yeah.
My biggest tip, my biggest advice, if I can call it advice, is go with your gut, listen to your intuition, because you are the only person who knows what is right for you. And that's not to say don't listen to the advice of others.
Yeah.
Take on the good stuff. Take on what feels right. You know, really sit with it. And if someone says to you, I think this is a good business decision for you, then take it for what it is, sit with it, and just see how it feels. Your body knows, your inner knowing will tell you whether it's right or wrong.
Yes.
For you.
Yes.
Might be right for someone else.
Yes.
Yeah, so listen to your gut, listen to your intuition. There have been so many things that I have said no to. And I've actually felt really good saying no to, because I'm listening to that inner voice.
Yes.
Always. Which then gets me to my next point is try and have that belief in yourself, that self-belief.
Yes. Yes.
I've been really fortunate over the past, 5 years that I've had a lot of people who've believed in me and have seen things in me before I even saw them in myself.
Yes.
And that's been such a gift, because then when I can sit back and actually really, truly start believing in myself, and the only way that you can believe in yourself is by taking action.
Yes. Yes.
You know, that action, because you don't know what you can't do until you try it. And you don't know what you can do until you try it.
That's it.
So they're my 2 big tips. And also, and my third one is just have fun with it.
Yes. Yes.
Just honestly, it's just have fun. Take your work seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously.
Yes. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So they're brilliant tips, because it's like, you know, especially the one when other people believe in you as well, you know, and it's having that support around you.
Yeah.
You know that it's to be able to know that you can reach out and other people have gone down that path and can relate to what you're going through, because it's an alone journey at times.
Oh, yeah, it can be, definitely.
And where the self-belief is paramount, to trust the inner vision and the inner voice that continues to, speak to and through you, and then applying that in action to have that support. And, this is where I've always had coaches, mentors, support, friends around, beautiful people like yourself, just to connect with, to be able to go, because it's so true when you're going through this self-doubt at different times, different days, every day is different. It can be a bit of a roller coaster when you go through this ride. But it is worth it, because I don't know any other way now.
It's so true. That is so true. Like I agree with you. I don't know any other way now. And that is so perfect. Actually, the one other little tip that I'd like to share is, and this is something that I've always embraced this and I've always loved this, but it is actually better to be the person in the room that knows the least than to be the person who knows the most.
Yes.
Because there are some incredible people that I have learned from, and I continue to learn from, because I choose to put myself in a position where I don't know as much as the other people in the room. If I can be around people that have gone before me in different industries, I don't have to be in the beauty industry or in the space I work in, but be around people who have done what you're wanting to do, that align with your values, and you cannot lose. You just, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room or the person that knows the most about business in the room.
Yes. And this is where you keep an open heart and open mind. And continue to be in a state of the unknown and not knowing. This is where the beauty, the magic comes in. It's amazing.
That pupa, when it's turning into a butterfly, doesn't know what it's going to look like when it's finished its journey.
Absolutely.
Just breaks out and it holds still for a moment, lets the blood run to the wings, and then when it's ready, it just kind of spreads its wings and off it goes.
Beautiful.
Is
there anything else, Bernie, that you might like to share, or any other, the people that are going through that? And because there's a lot of career transitions that are occurring right now, but they know that they've gone beyond where they've been. What would you say your biggest insight has been along the way, outside of those particular tips? Biggest insight?
My biggest insight is understanding, not so much knowing, but understanding that your potential is so much more than you consciously even know.
Yes. Love how you put that.
It's I'm discovering that I'm really good at things that I had no idea that I was great at. And from that perspective is just having that understanding, because I don't know how I know a lot of the things that I'm doing and tackling and coming up against. But I understand that if I come from that place of, well, I can't break anything. Everything has a reset button.
True.
That's what I say. And just understand that you don't have to know it. You don't have to figure it out all at once.
Yes.
And just, know where to get the answers. Actually, that's the biggest thing, is you don't need to have all the answers, just know where to find them. And I had a classic example on Friday. I was helping a girlfriend of mine set up her Zoom to Facebook connectivity link, whatever you want to call it. I had never done it before. She obviously hadn't done it before either. And we went through step by step, and she was just ready to throw the laptop out the window. And I said, no, it's okay. It's okay. So we got to the point where we had connected Zoom to Facebook, but then we had to connect Facebook to Zoom. and you just do it the once and that's okay. Anyway, we came up with an error, and it was a hash 200 whatever error, and neither of us knew what it meant. But I said to her, do a copy paste of the error from hash 200, copy that, open Google, pop it into Google. And sure enough, it came up with what that error meant and how to resolve it. Now, I didn't know the answer, but I knew where to find the answer. And for me, that's come back to my days in travel, because I wasn't expected to know where every airport was, what every airline, where every airline flew, what every, airline's equipment was that they used.
Absolutely. So it's being fully present and trusting yourself in each moment and in each situation, that the solution will arise and arrive in the divine time that it's all meant to. So can't force these things at, biggest thing.
Just know where to find the answer.
Oh yes, definitely. So tell us, where can people find you, and what, tell us a little bit more about what you're offering at the moment, even if you have a special offer, or
sure. So what I love to do is I love running workshops. In saying that, I get the most joy, and my clients are getting the most benefit from the one-to-one experiences that they have. So we can either do that via Zoom for my friends that are, way south, and that's okay. I'm based in Jindalee, so I have my beautiful color studio here at home. The lighting is absolutely amazing. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous space. So we do one-to-one. It's more than a makeup tutorial. We basically go through, I do an audit of your makeup case. I show you how you can best use the products that you have, and also show you products that you might want to switch out as well. And then from there, I'll show you how to apply makeup, because when we get over 40, nobody's told us that things like blush placement can give your face like an instant facelift. We're not taught how to apply eyeshadow to, say, a hooded eyelid to make it look more open. So these are all things that
come see you.
Why not? Exactly. And it's so
important. In WA, by the way, for our viewers.
Yes, exactly. Not Jindalee, Queensland. so it's all of those sorts of things, because I was finding that when I was running the workshops, my clients, or what the people at the workshop, would love the products. They'd buy them. They'd buy a whole heap of, whole set of different products. And then when I would check in with them the week after, they'd say, I bought it all, but I don't know how to use it.
Yes.
Even though they're at the workshop. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah. And again, just through listening is where I've been able to enhance what I do.
Nice.
So it's at 9. So embodybeautyco.com. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, which I'm getting better at. I also have a website as well, which is all Embody Beauty Co.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Barbara. It's lovely to connect with you again and to hear more about your amazing story.
Thank you.
And I hope that everybody that views this video learns a lot more about the importance of embodiment from inside out, the beauty from inside out that every woman has. And also, those people that are moving in the direction of wanting to step into the unknown, step into the calling of their inner vision of what they feel is, a creative business for themselves. I hope these tips have supported each and every one of you as well, as we've walked the walk for many years now. And you're not alone. So if anybody does want to, take up Barbara's offer, please feel free to contact Barbara. And also, if anybody does want to have a complimentary workshop or coaching session with me, then you're more than welcome to find out more about what I do as well under AnnetteStanton.com. Any last parting words that you'd like to share?
I just think just have fun with it.
Yes.
Trust yourself, as tricky as it sounds. And if you can't trust yourself, then just give it a go anyway.
Yeah. Give
You
it
know,
a
like I said, just find a reset button, whether that be on your laptop or a virtual reset button. Even
yes.
if you want to draw one and keep it on your desk, you know, and just kind of hit that
Yes.
reset button when you need to. But yeah, gosh, we are all so incredibly powerful, and we have such incredible potential. So
Absolutely.
just understand that and
It
just
is.
run with it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So have a fabulous day, everybody. Thanks again, Barbara. And
Thanks, Annette.
honor the inner voice
Mm.
coming from inside out, that intuition, gut feelings, and keep on taking one step at a time, knowing that the vision will open up for you in every moment. Have a fabulous day. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye for now.